The target, the stars above Earth, shimmered quietly, hiding something deadly behind their glow. Far beyond human eyes, a small black ship drifted in the dark. It had no lights, no signal. It was invisible to satellites. Inside, a tall, silver-skinned alien stood still. Her name was Reva. She was not like the others of her kind. She had no mercy, no questions. She followed orders, and her new order was clear. Kill the human named Daniel Cross. Reva's eyes were cold, sharp. Her armor was thin but strong, made for silent moves and quick kills. Her fingers slid across the glowing panel in front of her. Daniel's face appeared. Dark hair, tired eyes, and a calm expression. He looked harmless. But the command said he was dangerous to the galaxy's balance. Target locked, Reva whispered. She entered Earth's atmosphere at night. Her ship became a small burning star in the sky, unnoticed in a world full of lights. It landed in a quiet forest outside a sleepy town. No alarms, no sounds, just a light breeze and rustling leaves. Reva's body shimmered, shifting to match the forest shadows. She moved like a ghost, fast and quiet. She reached the edge of the town, her eyes fixed on one house. The house looked old, paint peeling, windows dark. Inside, Daniel Cross was sleeping. She watched him through the window. He was just a man. But why? Did her heart beat louder? She raised her weapon. It hummed softly, ready to strike. One shot to the chest, silent, clean. But her hand, it didn't move. Why can't I pull the trigger? She whispered. Inside, Daniel sat up suddenly, like he felt something. He looked around, rubbing his neck. He walked to the window, but she was already gone. Reva's heart pounded. She was trained to kill without emotion, yet something about Daniel held her back. Was it his eyes, his calm face, the way he looked lost, even in his own home? She returned to the forest, confused. Back on the ship, her command link buzzed. Report, a cold voice said in her ear. Still tracking the target, she lied. Kill him before sunrise, or we send another. The message ended. Reva's fingers trembled. She looked at Daniel's image again, zoomed in. His face showed pain, not physical, something deeper. She saw scars on his arm. They weren't from war. They were from someone who had been hurt again and again. What did he do that made the Empire fear him? She asked herself. She didn't sleep. She stood on a hill and watched the house all night. Every light he turned on, every step he took, every time he sat alone, staring at the wall. Sunrise painted, the sky orange and gold. Still, she had not killed him, and for the first time she wondered if she ever would. The next night, she entered the town again. This time she got closer. Her disguise was perfect, dark hoodie, jeans, and a backpack. No one looked twice. She passed Daniel in a coffee shop. He didn't notice her. He was sitting alone, reading a paper. People around him talked, laughed, lived. Daniel did not. He just stared at the table. Reva's chest tightened. She followed him home. Again. This time, he stopped in front of his door. Turned. I know you're there, he said. Reva's eyes widened, didn't look afraid. If you're here to kill me, do it, he said. I'm tired of running. She stepped out of the shadow slowly, not with her weapon raised, just watching him. Daniel looked at her. Their eyes locked, and something passed between them. Not fear, not anger, understanding. He turned, opened the door, and walked inside. He didn't shut the door behind him. Reva's heart raced. That night, she did not return to her ship. She sat under a tree, staring at the stars. For the first time, the assassin did not feel like a weapon. She felt lost. And it had all started because of one human, Daniel Cross. The second attempt Reva's mission was clear: kill Daniel Cross. Her heart, however, was no longer silent. The sun had risen. People walked the streets. Life moved as if nothing had changed. But inside Reva's mind, everything was burning. She had failed her purpose. Worse, she had lied to the ones who sent her. Back in the forest, hidden in a cave her ship had carved deep into the earth, Reva stood before a floating red orb. It pulsed with cold light. The Empire's voice. The High Command. "Why is he still alive?" the voice asked. It wasn't angry, it was worse, calm. "I needed more time to confirm his location," she replied. Her voice was steady, but her fingers clenched tight. A pause. "You have one more chance, Reva. Fail again, and you become the target." The orb vanished. She didn't breathe for a long time. Then she reached for her blade. This time, she wouldn't hesitate. Daniel Cross sat in his living room holding a photo, his parents, or at least the people who claimed to be. They were gone now. No family, no friends, just him in silence. He remembered the woman from last night, hooded, standing in the shadows, watching him like a ghost. And the way she looked, at him, not like an enemy, not like a killer, more like someone confused by what they saw. He knew someone was after him. He always had that feeling. Since childhood. Strange dreams. Voices in languages he never learned. And sometimes, waking, up with symbols burned into his skin. He rubbed his arm. A faint mark glowed like it was alive under his flesh. Reva's blade pulsed in her hand. One touch and it would slice through anything. It had taken the lives of kings, warriors, rebels. Now, she stood in front of Daniel's door again. Her breathing slowed. Her muscles tightened. Kill him. Do it. But the door opened before she could knock. Daniel stood there, looking straight at her. His eyes didn't blink. His voice didn't shake. "You're here again," he said. "You gonna do it this time?" Reva's hand twitched. "You don't run?" she asked. "I'm tired," Daniel replied. "If you're here to end it, just do it." He turned his back to her and walked inside, leaving the door open. What kind of man invites death in? She stepped inside slowly, carefully. His house was plain. One couch, a table, no pictures on the wall, just a shelf full of books and a small plant, barely alive. "Why do they want you dead?" she asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he sat down, looked at her. Really looked. "You're not human," he said. "But you hesitate. Why?" Reva's grip on her blade tightened. She could end it right now, but something inside her screamed, "Don't." "I was made to kill," she said quietly, "not to ask questions." Daniel leaned forward. "Then ask one now." Her voice cracked for the first time in her life. "Who are you really, Daniel Cross?" He stared at the floor. "I wish I knew." Outside, in the trees beyond town, another figure watched through a long scope. He wore armor darker than shadow, his eyes glowing red behind a black mask. He watched Reva enter Daniel's home. He saw her hesitate. Again, he activated his comm. "She's gone soft," he said. "Send authorization. I'll handle this myself." The reply was instant. "Approved. Eliminate the human and bring Reva back, dead or alive." Inside the house, Reva stepped back. "I was ordered to kill you because they fear you," she said. But they didn't say why. Daniel stood, walked past her, opened a small drawer and pulled out a strange silver coin. He handed it to her. She froze. The coin had a symbol only Empire assassins knew. A mark of exile. "Where did you get this?" she whispered. "I don't know," he said. "I woke up with it in my hand when I was 12. Reva's heart raced. This was impossible. Humans didn't carry those. Only fallen soldiers from her own world did. Then a whisper entered her mind. He is not just human. Suddenly, the window shattered. A black blade flew through the air and buried itself in the wall, inches from Daniel's head. Reva spun around, eyes wide. "Get down!" she shouted. Daniel dropped as another figure crashed through the roof, fast, deadly, and aimed right at him. The second assassin had arrived, and he wasn't here to talk. A memory that shouldn't exist. Shadows danced across the shattered floor as smoke rose from the broken ceiling. The second assassin moved like lightning, black armor, twin blades, and no mercy in his eyes. Reva's instincts kicked in. She jumped between him and Daniel. Metal clashed against metal, sparks flew. She blocked every strike, but the other assassin was stronger. "You've gone soft," he hissed through his mask. "You protect a target now?" "Stand down, Kryn," she growled. "He's not just a target. You're a traitor," he spat, "and traitors die." Daniel hid behind the couch, heart pounding. He wasn't trained for this. Two aliens fighting in his home like gods of death. Everything he thought he knew was collapsing. He watched Reva, how she moved, how she fought. She was protecting him. Why? Kryn charged again. His blade slashed the air. Reva blocked and pushed back, but he was too fast. His second blade cut her shoulder. Blue blood sprayed. Daniel shouted, "Ray!" Reva's eyes lit up. Not from pain, but something deeper, something buried. A flash hit her mind. Not now. A memory, a burning lab. Voices yelling, a child screaming. A little boy with dark hair, his eyes full of fear. She had seen those eyes before. Recently. She gasped and barely dodged Kryn's killing strike. "Your mind is slipping," Kryn growled. "You're unfit." Before he could strike again, Reva slammed a hidden button on her wrist. An explosion burst from the wall, blinding everyone. When the dust settled, they were gone. Deep in the forest, Daniel and Reva crouched under an old tunnel. She was bleeding. He tore part of his shirt and pressed it to her wound. "Why'd you save me?" he asked. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she pulled a small silver device from her belt. She tapped it. A hologram flickered. Glitches. Static. A face appeared. A scientist. A human. No. Something close. Subject. 7. Daniel Cross, the voice said. Hybrid shows memory instability. Potential breach. Must erase. The recording stopped. Daniel stared, frozen. What was that? "You're not just human," she said. "You're something else. Part human, part us. A hybrid. And they want you erased." "Why?" he whispered. She looked away. "Because you're proof. Proof they tried to mix our blood with yours." And it worked. Daniel leaned back, shaking his head. "I don't remember anything before I was 12. Reva's eyes narrowed. "That's not a mistake. It was taken from you." Suddenly pain ripped through her head. She fell back, gasping. Her vision blurred. Not real. Another memory. She saw herself. Younger. Standing in a lab. Behind a glass wall. Watching a child scream as machines scanned him. "Erase it," a voice said. She saw too much. The child turned and locked eyes with her. Those same eyes. Daniel's eyes. Reva sat up, sweating. "I know you," she whispered. "I saw you as a child. In the labs. I forgot." Daniel's heart stopped. "What?" "They made me forget," she said. "But the memories are coming back." "Why now?" Reva's expression darkened. "Because I got close to you. Our bond. It's waking up what they buried inside both of us." Daniel stood and stepped back. "What do you mean, bond?" "I was not just your assassin," she said slowly. "I was your protector. Long ago, they erased everything and turned me into a killer." Silence fell. Only the wind moved through the trees. Daniel looked at her, confused and afraid. "So who am I?" "You're not a weapon," she said. "You're a warning. And they'll do anything to make sure that warning is never heard." Miles away, Kryn stood on a rooftop scanning. He replayed the fight in his visor. He paused when he saw Reva hesitate. Then he zoomed in. Her eyes had glowed, just for a second. Not from her weapon systems. From something inside. A bond signature. Impossible, he muttered. His comm crackled. The voice of command. Report. They've bonded, Kryn said. You didn't tell me he was the hybrid. Silence. Then, change of orders. Bring them both back, alive. Kryn narrowed his eyes. What if they resist? Then burn the entire sector. Daniel sat beside Reva in silence. What now? He asked. We run, she said. But not just to survive. She looked at the stars. We run to find the truth. And when we do, we fight back. Hunted by her own kind, the night sky above the mountains was quiet. But the silence was a lie. Deep underground, in the heart of a forgotten military bunker, Daniel Cross tried to catch his breath. Dust filled the air, lights flickered. Concrete walls trembled as the last explosion echoed. Are we safe here? He asked. Reva's back was pressed to the wall, her knife drawn, blood still dried on her armor. She didn't answer. She was listening. Every sound mattered now. No, she said finally. They're coming. Daniel didn't ask who. He knew. Reva's own people were hunting her, and now, him too. Kryn had activated a full bounty beacon. 3 red moons rose on the assassin network. Every killer from Reva's world now had one mission. Hunt the traitor and the hybrid. Bring them back alive. Or bring their bodies. Ships had already landed on Earth. Invisible to human tech. Silent. Deadly. In a cold room high above the clouds, 7 assassins stood in a circle. The bond between them is real, said one. The Empire will not allow it to grow, said another. Kryn stepped forward, voice like broken glass. Then we break. It. Back in the bunker, Daniel stared at his reflection in a cracked mirror. His hand trembled. The scar on his arm, what he thought was a birthmark, now glowed faintly blue. What's happening to me? He asked. Your blood is waking up, Reva said. Your body is remembering what it was built to do. I don't want powers, Daniel whispered. I just want a normal life. Reva's eyes softened. She looked tired, older than before. I wanted that too, once. But they turned you into a killer, Daniel said. Yes, she nodded. And now, they'll try to erase us both. She pulled out a small device, flicked it open. A hologram of Earth appeared. Red dots blinked across it. They've already landed, she said. 6 teams, all moving toward us. Daniel looked at the map. How do we stop them? We don't, she said. We survive them one at a time. An hour later, the first hunter found them. He didn't knock. He blew a hole through the steel door with plasma. Reva's sword was in her hand before the smoke cleared. The hunter stepped in, 7 feet tall, skin like dark metal, a helmet that moved like liquid. No words, just action. He attacked. The fight shook the walls. Concrete cracked. Daniel ran for cover as Reva fought like a shadow with fire in her hands. The hunter was fast, but she was faster. She cut through his armor, but he didn't bleed. He's synthetic, she shouted. Daniel grabbed a metal pipe and tried to help. Useless. The hunter knocked him back. Reva's rage exploded. She unleashed a pulse from her chest. Blue light, hot and loud. The hunter staggered, sparks flying from his limbs. Then Reva stabbed him through the chest and whispered, Forgive me, brother. The hunter's helmet fell off. Daniel gasped. He looked human, but his eyes were empty. Mechanical. They're building them to look like us, Daniel said. No, Reva whispered. They're building them from us. She reached into the body and pulled out a chip. It was marked with a strange symbol, one Daniel recognized from a dream. I've seen that, he said, in my head. I don't know why. Reva's expression changed. You're remembering, she said. Slowly. The Empire erased you, but your mind is fighting back. She touched his face gently. We don't have much time. They'll keep sending more, stronger, smarter. So what do we do now, he asked. She looked toward the north. We find the Ark. The what? A secret place built by the first scientists of our kind. It holds the truth. And if the Empire fears you, that truth must be inside. Daniel nodded, breath shaky. Let's go. But they weren't alone. High above, Kryn watched through a drone. He smiled. Let them run, he said. Let them feel free. He pressed a button. Elsewhere on Earth, 5 more ships activated. Each one held a hunter, not made of metal, not copies, real assassins, trained like Reva, born to kill, and they were already moving. That night, Daniel and Reva stood on a mountain cliff. They could see the stars, and the warships hiding between them. Reva's voice was low. They will not stop. Then neither will we, Daniel said. They walked into the dark forest, the wind cold behind them, and, for the first time, the hunted had become the flame. They would not run forever. They would fight. The truth beneath Earth Deep. Beneath the mountains of Norway where no human had stepped in thousands of years, a forgotten machine stirred. Metal gears clicked. Blue lights blinked awake. Strange symbols lit up across massive walls made of alien stone. Something had been triggered. And now, it was waiting. Daniel and Reva stood before a steel door buried behind rocks and frozen soil. Trees above them leaned like guards, their branches creaking in the wind. This is it, Reva said, her voice low. This doesn't look like a lab, Daniel replied. It's not, she said. It's older than any lab, older than human history. She placed her palm on the door. Light scanned her skin. A loud hiss echoed as the ground shook. The door slid open, revealing a dark tunnel filled with mist. This is the Ark, she whispered. This is where it all began. They walked in silence. The tunnel seemed to stretch forever. Strange carvings lined the walls. Symbols neither human nor fully alien. Do you understand any of this? Daniel asked. Some, Reva said, but some of these runes are ancient. They belong to the first creators. Creators? Daniel asked. Of what? Of us, she replied. And maybe of you. As they moved deeper, the air grew warmer. Faint humming echoed like whispers in another language. Daniel's arm started to glow again, this time brighter. Your blood is reacting to the Ark, she said. It remembers. Suddenly the tunnel ended. Before them stood a chamber so large it seemed impossible. The ceiling disappeared into blackness. In the center stood a circular platform surrounded by ancient machines, glowing softly. Stand there, Reva said. Daniel stepped onto the platform. Everything changed. The air shifted. The light turned golden. The machines came alive. Then the floor pulsed, and Daniel collapsed. His mind was thrown into a storm of memories. Not dreams. Memories. A baby crying, scientists in white and silver suits, a young boy floating in a chamber of liquid, alien voices arguing, a woman's voice. Gentle. His name is Daniel. He is both. He is hope. Then, fire. Labs exploding, people screaming, someone holding him. Running. A figure. Tall. Silver eyes. Reva. Daniel gasped awake. He sat up, shaking. I saw it, he whispered. I saw everything. Reva's face was pale. What did you see? I was created, he said. Not born. A project. A hybrid experiment. My mother was human. My father was one of you. A rebel, Reva said softly. They used you to try and bridge the two races. And when it worked, they got scared, Daniel said. They tried to destroy it all. Reva nodded. They erased your mind. Erased mine. Turned me into the one who would one day kill you. But why send you? Daniel asked. Because I was the closest to you. Your protector. Your guardian. They thought turning me into your killer was the perfect way to end it. Daniel stood. Then, they failed. But the Ark wasn't done. A new light rose from the floor. A projection, not of a person but of Earth. Except it wasn't Earth now, it was Earth thousands of years ago. Cities. Ships. Towers reaching into the sky. What is this? Daniel asked. Earth, before humans, Reva said. Our kind was here long ago. We lived here before war drove us away. Your blood connects both histories. Daniel stared at the image. This changes everything. Yes, Reva said, but it also means we're now the most hunted beings in the galaxy. Suddenly, alarms, flared red lights flashed across the chamber. They found us, Reva shouted. Walls opened, defense turrets activated, but it was too late. A massive boom shook the chamber. One of the hunters had arrived, but this one wasn't like the others. He was taller than any human. His armor pulsed with dark energy. 6 glowing eyes, long clawed hands, and a voice like thunder. Traitor. Hybrid. Surrender the Ark or die with it. Reva's blade slid into her hand. She stepped forward. You want a war? She said. She looked at Daniel, her voice steady. Then we give them one. Blood and betrayal fire exploded. Inside the Ark, dust and smoke poured from the ceiling as the walls cracked under the force of the blast. Daniel grabbed the edge of a broken console and pulled himself up, coughing hard. Reva's voice cut through the chaos. Stay behind me. In front of them stood the elite hunter, the Wraith commander, a high-level executioner from the Assassin Order. His armor absorbed light, making him look like a living shadow. His voice echoed through the chamber like metal grinding against stone. The Empire gave you a gift, Reva. And this is how you repay us. You made me forget who I was, Reva growled. But I remember now. And I choose him. The Wraith's eyes burned red. Then you choose death. He launched forward, faster than anything Daniel had seen before. His twin energy spears sliced through the air. Reva blocked, her blade flashing in a blur of light. The clash sent shockwaves across the chamber. Daniel ducked as sparks rained down, then ran to the ancient console glowing behind them. He remembered the map of Earth and the secret codes. It had shown him something else, a locked vault beneath the Ark. What are you doing? Reva yelled between strikes. Buy me time, he shouted back. I think the Ark has a weapon. The Wraith laughed. No weapon will save a mistake like you. He struck Reva hard, sending her crashing into a pillar. Her armor cracked. Blood ran down her side. Ray! Daniel shouted. She tried to rise, but the Wraith was already above her, spear aimed at her chest. Daniel screamed, and the Ark responded. Symbols lit up around him. The floor trembled. Energy surged through his veins. The console opened. A hidden chamber rose from the ground. Inside it, a strange orb. Daniel grabbed it, even as heat burned into his skin. The orb pulsed. In his mind, a voice whispered, You are not their failure. You are the balance. He turned, eyes glowing faint blue, and held out the orb. Light exploded from it, striking the Wraith mid-air. The hunter screamed, armor peeling apart. Reva's eyes widened. He's activating the hybrid core. The Wraith was thrown backward, crashing through a wall and disappearing into the dark. The Ark went silent. Daniel collapsed, the orb still in his hands. Revas rushed to him. Are you okay? He nodded weakly. That was new. Before they could rest, a slow clap echoed behind them. Another figure stepped into the light, taller, sharper, unarmed, but dangerous. Reva's face turned cold. No. Daniel sat up. Who is that? My old commander, she said. The one who trained me, who gave the kill order. The commander smiled. You were always my best student. It hurts to see you fall. I didn't fall, she said. I rose. To protect a weapon? He said, nodding toward Daniel. He's not one of us. He's not one of them. He's nothing. He's everything, Reva said. And that's why you're afraid. The commander tilted his head. Do you want to know the truth, Daniel? Daniel looked up. What truth? The commander walked closer. She was never just your protector. She was part of the project, part of what made you. Her blood is inside you. Daniel blinked. What? Reva's expression turned to shock. She didn't know, the commander said. They used her DNA to stabilize you. She's not just your shield. She's part of your creation. No, Reva whispered. The commander's voice softened. He's your bond because you were built to belong to each other. And now that he's unlocked the core, the final step is clear. He raised a small device. You both die, and we erase the last proof. He pressed the trigger, but nothing happened. Daniel had moved. Fast, faster than human, faster than expected. He punched the commander straight in the chest, sending him flying into the wall. You talk too much, Daniel said. Reva's voice shook. You're evolving. I'm done running, Daniel said. It ends now. But the commander wasn't dead. He rose, laughing. You'll regret that, boy. He pulled out a last resort bomb, a black cube that could level the entire arc. Reva's eyes widened. He's going to destroy everything. Before she could move, Daniel stepped forward. Go, he said to her. I'll stop him. No, she said. I'm not losing you again. But he was already moving. He tackled the commander just as the cube lit up. They crashed into the reactor room. The doors slammed shut. Reva screamed, Daniel! Minutes passed. Then the ground shook, a quiet explosion. Not enough to destroy the ark, but enough to end a life, or so she thought. The doors opened slowly, and Daniel stepped out, covered in smoke, eyes glowing, carrying the cube. Deactivated. Reva's heart skipped. How? She whispered. I rewired it, Daniel said. Somehow. I knew how. They stared at each other. Silence. Only their breathing, only the feeling that everything had changed. He walked closer. They made me to be a weapon, he said. They made me to be your killer, she replied. He reached for her hand. Then let's become something they never expected. She nodded. Together they turned toward the light. Her only reason to live, the stars above Earth had gone quiet. Not because the night was peaceful, but because something massive was coming. Far beyond the moon's orbit, a ship the size of a city moved through space. Shaped like a blade. Forged, in silence and powered by ancient technology, it was known only as the Enforcer, the final weapon of the Empire. Not a fleet, not an army, just one being, a god in armor. And it had a name. Vorak. It had never failed a mission, and its mission now was simple. Erase the hybrid, destroy the traitor, crush the ark, make the galaxy forget they ever existed. Reva's eyes stared into the sky, sensing what was coming. She and Daniel stood atop a cliff near the ark. The land around them was quiet, too quiet. Birds had vanished. The air had gone still. Even the insects had stopped singing. Do you feel it? She whispered. Daniel nodded. Something huge. He's here, she said. Daniel didn't ask how she knew. He felt it in his blood. A pressure like gravity had tripled. A storm waiting to burst. And inside that pressure was one truth. This was the final battle. Above them, the Enforcer's ship broke through the clouds like a falling sword. Lightning flashed across the sky. The ship hovered, then opened, and Vorak descended. His body was wrapped in black energy. His armor looked alive. His face hidden behind a mask older than Earth itself. No wings. No flames. Just power. So thick, it bent the air. When his boots touched the ground, the forest around them turned to ash. He spoke only one word. Hybrid. Daniel stepped forward, his voice steady. You're late. Reva's hand gripped her blade. You won't take him. Vorak tilted his head. You are nothing. You were made to obey. And now you choose love over your purpose? Love is my purpose, she said. And he's the only reason I live. Then die for him, Vorak said, and raised his hand. A shockwave blasted across the cliff, sending rocks flying. Daniel barely dodged as Reva blocked the hit with her full body. Her armor shattered, but she stood her ground. Go, she told Daniel. Get to the arc core. It can help you. Not without you, he said. If we both stay, we lose, she said. But if you survive, they lose everything. Vorak charged, His strikes were like meteors. Every step cracked the earth. His fist crushed trees. Reva's movements were fast, but she was slowing. Her wound from the last battle hadn't healed. Blood ran down her arm, but she kept fighting. Daniel ran, down into the Ark's heart, where the hybrid core waited. The moment he touched it, the room lit up. It spoke to him. "Are you ready to become what you were made to be?" "No," Daniel said. "I'll become something more." He placed both hands on the core. Light exploded. His veins lit up with energy. Symbols crawled up his arms. His eyes glowed, not blue, but white gold. His body rose into the air, and in that moment, he became something the Empire never planned for. Not a weapon, not a mistake, but a force of balance. He rose out of the Ark like a sun. Vorik stopped mid-strike. Daniel hovered above the battlefield. "You came to erase me," Daniel said. "But I'm not a glitch. I'm evolution." Vorik roared and leapt into the sky. The two collided. The sky lit up like it was splitting in half. Their battle cracked the clouds. Fire and lightning clashed. Waves of power rippled across the earth. Even orbiting satellites shut down from the force. Reva's body trembled as she crawled to safety. She looked up, barely breathing. Daniel wasn't just fighting. He was winning. Every strike pushed Vorik back. Daniel's power kept growing. He wasn't using weapons, he was channeling the force of both human will and alien strength. Vorik fell from the sky, crashed into the cliff. For the first time in his existence, he was hurt. "You cannot be," Vorik hissed. Daniel landed. "You built me to destroy, but love rebuilt me to protect." "We are eternal," Vorik shouted. "Then end with honor," Daniel said. He lifted his hand. A beam of white gold light shot forward, piercing Vorik's armor, burning through darkness. Vorik screamed as he shattered into fragments of energy, and was gone. The Enforcer had fallen. Silence. Then the sun broke through the clouds. Reva's eyes met Daniel's. He walked to her slowly, body glowing faintly, but the power fading. He was human again, but something inside him had changed forever. She smiled weakly. "You did it," she whispered. "We did it," he said. She reached for his hand. "I wasn't made to feel, but you gave me a reason." He sat beside her. "And you gave me a home." As the Empire's signal vanished from orbit, the galaxy shifted. Others would learn what happened. Others would come. But now, they weren't just running. They were standing together. And nothing, not even a galaxy built on control, could break a bond born in blood, betrayal, and love. Reva's eyes closed, but her last words stayed in his mind forever. "You were my target. Now you're my reason to live."